Hello. So, welcome to the third edition of I Listen to This While You Drive little recordings. Now, I was going to do something different for this. I was going to read a comic book out loud, but it kind of started to turn into something that was going to be hard. It didn't feel like I was talking to you. Like, it didn't seem like something that you would be as interested in listening to, right? And I figured that you'd have to see them. And so I thought about like obviously I was going to put the panels up for you, but I then also thought about like, well, I could read like a short story instead, but I'm not really sure how much you would enjoy that. So, you know, tell me if you would. But I'm just going to talk to you like normal. So, recently I've been getting really into comic books. That's one of the reasons that I really wanted to do a little comic reading was because I've really been enjoying them lately. I don't know, like as much as a fan as I am of comics in general and what they have, like their characters and all of their everything, the world building. I've read, you know, the greats before, but I've never really kept up with actual comic books or read normal comic book runs. I've only really cherry picked the best, right? And then listened to other people explain everything else. So instead, I thought it was time that I start reading comic books. If I claim to be such a big fan. So I started. I started reading some books. Luckily, recently, DC rebooted everything, restarted from number one in about like 2016, I think they did. So I decided, okay, I will start there. And I started reading from Batman number one in the whole DC Rebirth run. And so far, I'm having a great time. I'm very much enjoying it. Um, it's not just Batman, it's everything got rebooted. And I already kind of know the overarching storyline. And unfortunately, I already kind of know that it's mid. It's basically, the Watchmen. The Watchmen, if you don't know, is a DC Comics property, but you wouldn't know it just by watching it. It was a comic book, a graphic novel more, because it wasn't like released issue by issue. It was the full story was kind of contained in one big book. But I think it was Alan Moore who wrote it. I could be wrong about that. But he's one of the famous authors, very, very popular, very well known, well liked. And his Watchmen series was huge. It was supposed to be a really dark and realistic take on a world with super people who weren't really super. He wanted to use some lesser known DC Comics characters to tell this like nuclear war allegation story, or not allegation, allegory story. He wanted to use Captain Atom, who's like a living nuclear bomb. So, not super subtle. Uh, and the Question, who's kind of like if Batman was more mentally unstable and also didn't have a face. His mask is just like a featureless face, like no eyes, nose, mouth, anything. It looks sick as hell. And he was also going to use I forget, like Black Canary, a bunch of characters that he wanted to feature. Most of them without superpowers, right? A lot of the characters that he wanted were to kind of communicate to create a world where superpowered people didn't exist, but normal people took it into their own hands to, to try to do it themselves, to do their best to become superheroes, to become something like that. And what kind of unstable person would actually do something like that? Like, would take the law into their own hands, dress up in spandex, and go beat up a bunch of criminals. So it starts with like this big, and you gotta watch. The movie is, while not accurate, really good. It's really good. It's not entirely accurate to the comics, but to be honest with you, I think the big change, in my mind at least, that most people will notice is obviously the length, and it loses this side plot about a comic book in the universe where it's about like this pirate ship, and it's all thematically connected but doesn't actually matter story-wise. And it also changes the ending. But frankly, I think the ending in the movie is actually better and makes more sense. The essence of the ending is the same, just the means by which they get there make more sense in the movie than in the comic. But anyways, there's only one real super person in the world of the Watchmen, and it's been generations, like not that many, like 2 generations of superheroes. And those superheroes were all normal people dressing up in spandex and going to fight crime. And some of them had gadgets, some of them had nothing but a shitty costume. And most of them were some form of sociopath. Some of them worse than others. And the only real superhero very recently came into existence. And he's not just a superhero, he's kind of God. He can do anything. He's Dr. Manhattan. He was torn apart in a nuclear accident and some energy research. He got stuck in the reactor room, torn apart, and then reformed his own atoms. So he can rearrange like molecules. He can make infinite energy. He can do anything. He's also omniscient. He can see everything. He knows the future. He knows the past. And it's kind of a really interesting look at what a person who becomes not just powerful, but a god would, like, what that would do to somebody. And I like it. It's really good. And the Watchmen were hugely popular. They blew up because that comic was on its own, but it was so popular that they kind of folded them into the main DC continuity with Rebirth. So at like the thing that kicks off Rebirth is Batman so there's Watchmen starts with one of the characters, the comedian, who's a piece of shit sociopath, but one of the superheroes, getting killed. And it's like this iconic opening scene where Rorschach, the Question character, who is kind of like an insane Batman, says like, a comedian died in New York last night, and I'm here to find out why. And it's like, I don't know, it's iconic. You should watch the movie if you haven't seen it. It's really good. But the comedian has a button, and it's a very iconic symbol of the comic, the button with the blood on it. It's just a smiley face button that he would wear, and the blood on the smiley face button is like the iconic symbol of the franchise of The Watchmen. It's used as like the cover of the comic book in a lot of cases. It's huge. So that button with that blood on it shows up, and Batman finds it. right? So, what the fuck? Like, obviously the Watchmen are going to be involved. Why is his button here? Whatever, whatever. And the whole thing kind of just adds up to part of the reason that everything's getting rebooted is because Dr. Manhattan decided to reboot the universe. And it's all kind of mid, you know? It's all an ongoing storyline that I don't really care for, but I know that the original stories, like the character stories, were pretty well received. So I'm looking forward to reading through them. I'm enjoying so far reading through Batman at the very least. And they also released, there's like an offshoot called Absolute DC right now, where it's like superheroes in a world where things are as hopeless as they can be. How do superheroes try to persevere in that world? Like, how do they exist in that world? Was it like for them? What are they like because of it? And so far, they've released a few comics like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter. They've released a few comics for each of those in the Absolute universe. And I've only read Batman, Wonder Woman, and the first issue of Superman. But it rules. It's actually so cool. So like instead of Batman being like a billionaire and having all these resources and being like, tortured by his family's murder, but having the resources to become this crime fighter, he is instead this gigantic hulk of a man who, I don't know that he ever had a mom around, or no, his mom's still alive. Right, his mom is still alive. But his dad was his teacher, and they were on a school field trip, and somebody at the zoo, and somebody came through, a gunman came through the zoo, and his dad hid them all in the reptile area, but his dad was shot and killed trying to protect the class from the gunman. And so Bruce becomes like obsessed with ridding Gotham of crime, right? Or fighting his war against crime at least. And in this world, the crime in Gotham is like way worse than it is in the normal Batman universe. Not insofar as like, I guess in the normal Batman universe, they get terrorized with like constant attacks from clowns and penguins, and that must be pretty awful. But in this one, it's more like just an organized criminal gang has fully taken over the streets of Gotham, and the police can't do shit about it. But you have this Bruce Wayne who's not a billionaire, whose teacher father and his mom certainly weren't rich, and he is a construction worker. He's not even independently wealthy, right? But he's this giant of a man, and I love the way that his batsuit and his tactical, like, all of his gear is inventive and obviously, like, comic booky in so many ways, but also very communicative of the different character he is in this world. He has a fucking battle axe on his chest. The bat symbol comes off as an axe. And he still has like a no-kill rule, but he is willing to get really, 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 really close, and like he'll stab people, but it will, like miss a big artery. You know what I mean? Like he's willing to be way more violent. But he his Batmobile is actually sick as hell, dude. His Batmobile is a fucking tank. and not in the way that a normal tank. He has a I mean, it's like the size of a building. It's huge. And it's like a construction vehicle, which makes sense for who he is. You know, he's a construction worker. And he has this construction vehicle that he's retrofitted into this tank. And it's so cool. Oh my god. It's like super tall. He just puts a giant, yeah, bro rules. And also in this universe, because he doesn't obviously have a fucking butler, Alfred is not a butler. Alfred is an agent sent to kill Batman by one of his benefactors, but he decides instead that he wants to help him. So he's like a secret agent who's now going to join Batman's side. I don't know. That's about where I stopped off. So they've definitely released a lot more. So I need to keep reading because that rules. It's a very fun comic series. I'm enjoying Absolute a lot right now. And the Martian Manhunter in Absolute, I haven't read any of it, but I guess he's like possessed with, or I think it's somebody is possessed by the Martian Manhunter, and people's thoughts are like drugs to him, and he like reacts really strongly to them. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but it's like, it seems really cool. Seems very, very cool. But that's I'm enjoying comics. That's the main theme here. That so far I'm having a good time with the comic books. Ugh, but the Superman movie, huh? The Superman movie? Now that is really something made for me. I really needed it to be fun, and it delivered. It was absolutely maybe one of the most fun movie experiences I've had in a long time. Months at least, right? I mean, I went to go see Thunderbolts. We went to go see Thunderbolts, but it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't anything like Superman. Superman was just so fun. It was a fun superhero movie starring a superhero I liked and gave a shit about, and done super well. You know? Like, it's as simple as that. Now, the Fantastic Four, I'm nervous for, because if it's not good, that's going to suck a lot. Because then I have very little hope for the rest of Marvel. But I don't know. It seems like it might be good. Seems like it's going to be good. I'm very hopeful. I am. If it's not good, that sucks a lot. But if it is, I'm very hopeful. And I am very hopeful that it will be good. But that's all I've got today. I'm out of things to say, and it's about 20 minutes. Not a bad time. But I need to say some things. I've been thinking so much about comic books. I just wanted to yap about it. I've got so much more to yap about. You know what I should start doing? I should start preparing like PowerPoints and giving like not a lecture, because negative connotation, but like giving a talk related to the PowerPoints, like maybe putting the PowerPoints on screen if you want to look at them. I could do that, and then just talking over them. Would you like that? Would that be fun? I think that'd be fun. I think I'll do that. I think the next one I do, I will do that. I'll make some nice PowerPoint to tell you about some topic that I've done a lot of research on. Maybe I'll even prepare like some things to say so that it's not so rambly, right? Yeah, I think I'll try that next time. I bet it'll get better. Yeah, just give me a little time, and we'll figure out the formula here, and I'll make something very listenable, and you won't have to, struggle through my and silences and pause. So, I'm trying to learn how to do this better, so that it's something fun for you. And hopefully something fun for me, because you know how I love to yap. Holy shit, did you know they still do box tops? Do you remember box tops? How you would cut out the box top and bring it in for like a prize in like elementary school? Well, no more clipping. Now you can scan your receipt to get box tops. According to the back of my Lysol can. Yeah. Anyways, maybe that's what the next PowerPoint will be about. Maybe I'll do like box tops and what happened to them. Could be fun. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later. Bye.